flying red light on the clock to extend it. Oh, Tomas get pulled! Why has Rian retired? That brings up to 7! Oh Jesus Christ! The world champion.
Welcome along, we are here in Monaco for what is round 11 of URC season 11, and what a track to be bringing it to. A track not known for the racing, but it is known for some spectacle. Both Red Bulls out in tandem in the pit lane already, and everyone wants to get out, start their first runs in qualifying. In terms of the standings, right now, Fran Bernoulli leads. He can wrap it up today. All he has to do is not be outscored by Hyper by 6 points. That is the only way Fran loses the championship, and pretty much that means Hyper first, Fran second, and the championship will go to the finale in Austria. On the constructors standings, I've put the wrong image. We are so good at this game. Which one's the teams? There we go. There's the team standings. Boy on the screen. Haas currently leads the team standings, but they are closely followed by Williams, Alpine, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Mercedes and McLaren. And everyone down to P8 still stands a chance in the Constructors' Championship. Who will come out on top in the Constructors' battle? That is the question. Back into the session though, and this is the track where we will expect a DNF or 5 in this qualifying session, and the first lap is going to be coming from a classic driver in many of the partner leagues, and someone who can put a performance down when he wants to. Out of the final corner, opens up the front wing, and starting the first lap is Quiet Boy 0209 on the brakes at the 50-meter board into turn 1, fling the car in, tap that wall on the outside. You really want to use that, stabilizes that rear end. Now towards turn 3, Massenet, carry the speed in, shift down to 4 for a bit more rotation, then continue through Casino Square, and now towards, I already forgot the name, this is beautiful, and now into the Grand Hotel hairpin he goes, and through the right-hander just before Portier, Mirabeau Bass, and now Portier, and into the tunnel, and off board through the tunnel. The V6 engine doesn't really roar anymore, but it used to be a beautiful spectacle. Through now the Nouvelle Chicane, gets very close to the wall already. There's going to be a few drives in that wall tonight, I can assure you. A flick through to back, there's a back in his shop just on the outside of that corner. Good for anyone who's very nervous about someone hitting the wall. Through the swimming pool chicanes he goes, into La Rescasse, the restaurant just to the inside of the corner, and through Anthony Nodes now onto the start finish straight. That rear end was a bit loose on the car, but he comes to the line. It's a 1:10.8 as the opening lap. MH couldn't set a valid effort. FaZe Monkey will be the next across the line. It was not a good middle sector from him, only third. ST goes to the top of the stack. His teammate in the Mercedes, Yari, can only go P3. Bluefoot starts a lap. Vinny goes 5th. XD Tyler 2nd. His teammate is the other Mercedes driver. Expected to do quite well in this session, but Hyper hasn't set a lap as we've got a car backwards. Billy Wiz has had a bit of a spin. Fran Bernoulli crossed the line. It's only an 11-1 on the opening run. That'll be disappointing for him as Richie goes to the top of the session. Now Ben comes to the line. It's a 12.8, decent lap from the driver who made his first race debut of this season just last race. Joker, a driver you can always depend on to pull a lap out of his arse. Only P7, so a lot of the contenders here really not doing well. Is Hyper on a lap right now? No, he's recharging. He will go again on that same set of tyres. Blue is the next driver on a competitive effort, it seems, and he'll be flinging this car through that chicane. That was a lot of curb from the Aston Martin driver. MH starts his next effort. FaZe Monkey responds to his first effort by going third. XD Tyler glitches into the pit lane on our screen, and Blue comes across the line only in 11.2 as the first runs come to an end. Fran Bernoulli, I don't think can go again. Might just try to on his battery level. No, pulls into the pits. Hyper is a driver you'd want to ride on board with. But he has just mauled that turn 1 curb. That's his lap over and probably just a return to the pits. What can MH do? A driver inconsistent on his day around one of the most difficult tracks you've got to lock in, uses that curb, flings the car in, and that is an invalid lap if I've ever seen it. Ben will be beginning a second run on that soft compound tyre. It can stand up to 2 runs. It'll be a bit loosey-goosey at the end of the lap, but very worth doing if you just want to build your confidence, which is all what a Monaco qualifying setup is about. Getting that confidence, building it slowly. It's an 18.8 in Sector 1 for Ben. And honestly, the lap looks pretty nice. Is that actually very low fuel on his wheel? I might be seeing low fuel. I might be seeing 6.1. I can't quite tell which it is. We'll find out momentarily if he just runs out of fuel or if it goes down to a 5. I think it's 6. Through the tunnel he goes. He definitely has the fuel to finish this lap. Might just be getting some longer running in as well. That's always a good use for qualifying. Build your confidence in qualifying and the race. Joker, his teammate, is behind, going for a lap. Ghilaracci, or Fran actually, exiting the pit lane now for Ferrari. Tap on the wall again on that exit. Be surprised if we see someone complete this race without hitting the wall. Through the final corner comes Ben, and it'll be a run to the line. Blast the overtake, DRS wide open, he comes to the line. It's P11, not a bad effort from him. Joker has found time in that middle sector. Has he found much in the final? He has. It's an 11-0, puts him just ahead of Fran for now. But everyone with times to beat out there right now, you know for a fact that Fran, Hyper, Lucas Spurs, Blue, Joker, Quiet Boy, all those guys are just going to be building up into this session. It won't be their first laps that count, it'll be those final runs where you're giving it absolutely everything. How much of everything is Billy Whiz giving it? Looks very conservative through the chicane, and Monaco qualifying conservative for a reason. Through the swimming pool, and it's a good middle sector for Billy Whiz, definitely up on where the likes of Joker was and where Ben was, so maybe just slotting in to that lower top 10. Is he going to drive that car to the line now? The Alpine glowing in the sunlight, a 10.9. He has to swerve out the way of everyone as Ghilaracci is out of the session. And where is that? What has happened to Ghilaracci? It must have been into back. That something's happened. There's a yellow flag out there still as well. It's a Red Bull, I think that is parked. No, that's a V card. There's something gone on. Or a Quiet Boy just getting out of the way there. I was wondering what was going on there. Very interesting. XD Tyler's still making a struggle for the game to figure out whether he's pitting or not. And ST already closing into the walls. He's a 10.5 up in Sector 1. The time he has right now currently still only would put in P2. But if the likes of Fran Bernoulli can't get his life together, anything can happen. Fran was 4/10 up in the middle sector. And this looks like a much better effort from Fran. He's into the 9s. That is what you expect from Fran Bernoulli on a lap of Monaco. ST throwing it through the chicane. Can't do anything with the end of his lap. Is that MH coming to the line? No, it's his teammate in blue heading to the line. Hyper looking a little bit slow through the hairpin, but everyone looks a bit slow through there. Blue was ghosted, unfortunately. Ghilaracci has a race ban question mark. He has a grid pen, so he's just given up on the session. Okay, Gary pulls into the pits off that run, and Quiet Boy was 600ths down in Sector 1. But surely finding the time through Sector 2, where you are going to build some confidence in this session, but only still 2/10 down in the middle, taps that wall on the exit of the swimming pool. Is he going to stay out and just finish this lap? No, it's pulling into the pits. That's his effort done. ST did quite a slow end to the lap as Hyper goes fastest. Weren't keeping an eye on him, but it's a 9.8 from Hyper. Times are tumbling around here, and Richie has found a bit in his first sector and kept it valid through the main place. People are being validating today. On board, flinged it through the left. That's a big hit to the wall. Did he get damage? He did. Is he going to push on maybe because there's still time to find in how the track evolves. It may be scruffy, it may be a few whacks into the wall, but what can he do? Through the final corner he comes. It's going to be slamming the overtake, opening the DRS, and time to blast to the line. He loses everything he had in that final sector, unsurprisingly. If the tyre prep and the tyres aren't there, what's the real point in staying out blue? Pushing on right now, I think on a couple lap old set of soft tyres. And he's in a very tricky position right now, a driver we usually expect to see a bit further up there. Falling away a bit in this session. Only 11th for him right now, but there's going to be time in that car, there's going to be time in the lap, and there's going to be time in just building the confidence. That is the king at Monaco, doing laps, finding where the final limit of grip is the big question. And it's half a second up for Blue as he flings himself through the swimming pool chicane. And Raskas get as tight to the inside as you can, straighten up the car, fling it through the final corner, straighten up nicely, and then drive it to the line. Max needs an invite, unfortunately, so we don't quite get to see that time. Max asks for an invite before he's online. What a classic Max thing to do. As Blue goes fourth, we miss that because Max needs an invite and doesn't end up online. Joker looking on a bit of a calmer lap here. It's definitely not a push. Maybe though, going again, no. Pulls into the pits. His effort over. Ben has found some time. Onto an 11-1. Backs out of whatever he's doing now. MH has had a bit of an issue at the final corner. Is that damage for the V-Carb car? For the Aston car, sorry. No, not damage. But just survival at this point. Blue's still kind of pushing a bit on this inlet. Just always good. Feel out a limit while you can, as Fran's going to start his next effort. And see if we can get Max an invite now to the session. As Blue, yeah, will be coming into the pits at the end of this lap. I can only assume. Fran, I think initially planned on pushing, has backed out, as that's MH still struggling in that Aston Martin. And now really just trying to get the car going again. Wing damage in the Aston. And he'll just have to wait again to go for a lap. Billy Whiz is invalidated immediately. That'll be disappointment for him. But he gets out of the way beautifully for Monaco. Like, that is the way to get out of the way as Yari hits that inside wall. He is lucky. He is lucky as anyone right now. How has he not lost a tyre? But he's going to continue pushing. Max is going to get into the session for one lap. And one lap only. If he can get into his car, because that's a question with this game. And Yari cancelling his push now. Didn't seem to get wing damage. But the final runs will begin to happen. I just need to see how much time's left in the session. But unfortunately, we got the V-Carb MH in low fuel mode, missing his wing, out on the track right now, being a hazard. It's 4:39 left on the clock. Joker and Quiet Boy have started final runs. Yari is pushing back into the pits. But he will have the chance to go out and go again. Quiet Boy and Joker line astern on the track, getting ready to start their final efforts to post the ultimate lap time they can around qualifying. In qualifying here in Monaco, and Joker will be the first one to try and lay down the law to everyone else, down the main straight and hard on the brakes. Getting the car rotated into one, straighten up, using that wall, which is perfectly reasonable in this game because the damage model is a joke. Joker through turn 3 of Massenet, through Casino Square, and towards Mirabeau Mas now. He's a little bit down in Sector 1, but this is where the grip starts to kick in. This is where the confidence really starts to kick in. It's through the middle sector. He rides that inside curb. It's an unusual line. And then using a bit of the pavement, fling the car now through the right-hander of Portier and straighten the car up, get every bit of traction he can before blasting through the tunnel and then slamming on the anchors into the Nouvelle chicane. Is very cautious not to hit that wall. Quiet Boy misses it as well. And that is very important. It's so easy to do. Joker flinging it through the left hand of Tabak and now into the swimming pool. He's going to need a Verstappen-esque final sector here. He does not have the time right now on the board. He comes through the final chicane. Big snap in Raskas. And he's going to straighten up out of the final corner of Anthony Nodes. Another snap for him. And that has just cost him an improvement. Quiet Boy, meanwhile, goes to P6. It's a good effort from him. Lucas Spurs is on a lap. What's he doing? He's 3/10 up in Sector 1. Times will start to plummet. The track has evolved majorly. Through the hairpin he comes, uses every inch of track, and then not very much as he comes through Mirabeau there. You've got to use that pavement on the inside though, I think, for the ultimate lap time. You'll be struggling a bit without it. XD Tyler starts his likely final effort here. There's a Haas slow in the chicane right now. I think that's damage for it as well. We'll look back, it is front right wing damage. That's the Haas's session over. That might be FaZe. It might be Richie. Either way, screwing themselves over with that damage. 6/10 up for Lucas Spurs, as he's going to have to fling this car through the final sector now to really try and hook up the ultimate time he can. It's a very good exit though from Anthony Nodes. Where does this put him? It's only P9 for now, with times on the up and up. On track behind him, Joker is going to start a final effort. FaZe Monkey was definitely not the Haas with wing damage. Unfortunate for Richie having wing damage. FaZe fast in Sector 1 and needs every ounce of grip he has. Just trying to see how he was doing through that right-hander, and can he do anything? Richie has retired from the session. He's pulled a Rosberg, and that is not what we needed to see. FaZe Monkey though will be the first to finish, I think, the final runs of this session. It's a big smash into the wall, and he's 2.5 up right now. This could be a great lap. He is really abusing the fact that the damage does not really work around here. He's flicking the car through the final couple of corners. Doesn't hit the wall on the inside. This will be some pretty decent pace if those wall bangs haven't cost him anything. It's only enough to maintain his position. Quiet Boy retires. That's his session over. ST starts his final effort, I think, but not much battery in that Red Bull car. Hyper will be starting his final lap. Fran has had to back out of his middle run and will be going again. Yari is up behind Fran and gonna try and get himself into the 10s here. There's traffic in the final couple of corners. This is not what you need. A little bit of slipstream to the line is all the penalty will get, but it's a lot of time lost. Maybe a little bit of impeding from Max, who's invalidated his lap immediately. Hyper is up, starting his final effort. 1.4 of improvement for the Mercedes driver. The Mercedes driver who has been mighty with a big snap out of Portier, trying to get the power down into the tunnel. And can he do anything in this middle sector? Throwing the car over the Nouvelle chicane, straightening up, and then it's a flick into Tabak. Keep it steady. Use the wall if you need to, Hyper. Fling it through the swimming pool chicane. He's doing very well to keep this valid. Hard on the anchors. Through the final couple of corners, it's a tap on the inside wall. Through the final corner, straighten up the car. Where is this going to put him? It's P1, it's a 0.5, and Fran has nothing to respond. He's down in the first sector, he's not using, he knows it's over. XC Tyler is invalid, Bluefoot has invalidated, Ben just invalidates Lucas Spurs. Can he find anything to the line? No, he can't. It's only a 0.7. Billy Wiz is invalid, so that is this qualifying session more than likely over. And what disappointment for Fran Bernoulli. What disappointment for Lucas and everyone who struggled on their final laps. And a top 4 that you maybe didn't expect. Hyper on pole as per. Fran in second at a mighty 4/10 back from the Mercedes driver. Third is ST2406 with a great lap to keep himself just in contention. It's fourth for Richie, who's already retired. Fifth, XD Tyler. Bluefoot, after a poor start to the session, in sixth. Quiet Boy seventh from FaZe Monkey. Pulls into the pits for ninth. Lucas Spurs 10th. Yari and Billy, two guys you didn't expect much pace from, in 11th and 12th. Joker with a shock drop in 13th. And how in God's name has this all fallen apart? There are going to be some concerns about drivers impeding, and I'm sure I'm about to get some information about that in a bit. But Hyper on pole, Fran in second. The two championship contenders line up alongside each other once again. The strongest team in this qualifying session, should I say, Mercedes by far, first and fifth. And can they translate this to the race? And sixth for Blue. And we go further down the grid. We will be back very shortly for the race. And we are back live in Monaco. Hyper is on pole and he's here in the chat with us. So Hyper, good qualifying effort from you, a 4/10 advantage over your rival Fran Newley. How are you feeling coming into the race?
Nervous, but at the same time not.
Yeah, it's 39 laps of what is pretty much a war of attrition. Are you going to be trying to pull away, or are you going to try and keep your enemies nice and close on this track?
I'm sitting on the apex every corner. 6th gear is going to be the highest gear I go into.
Obviously, your teammates up in P5 today. Are you guys going to be trying to play any trickery, maybe take some inspiration from Williams in real life?
Hopefully, but it is Tyler who could easily fuck shit up.
And I mean, as well, kind of an unknown on the grid with you as well. ST up there in P3. Obviously not in the championship fight, nothing to lose. Are you going to be trying to avoid him at all costs?
Well, I have to win at all costs, so probably not.
Alright, Hyper, thank you for coming along. We will speak to you hopefully after the race.
Hopefully.
There's the disconnect button. It's going to be a quick rundown on the tyres, Sham's favourite segment. It's mediums all for the top 4. XD Tyler on softs, maybe still there trying to play the team game. Blue and Quiet on the medium. The only 2 on hards are FaZe Monkey and Max. Lucas Spurs, the only other soft runner. 70-degree hards for Max isn't going to be very nice. Ben in P9, it's a great qualifying from him, out-qualifying Joker, which is a huge surprise. Pole position on the right here. This is going to be absolutely beautiful. All the tyres are plenty good enough around this track, Sham, so we should be ready for what is a brilliant race coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting when I can't wait to see how this one ends up.
But we're getting ready now. It'll be 5 red lights momentarily on the grid. And as the light come on, the engine's revs rise. And it's lights out very shortly. And away we go. A very long hold for everyone. Hyper with a lot of wheel spin off the line. XD Tyler with a beautiful launch. Can't find a way through. Into turn 1. XD Tyler fighting with Quiet Boy. There's a little bit of argy-bargy in the background, but everyone gets through cleanly. Up the hill we go. And towards Massenet. ST trying to look up the inside of Richie. There's contact between the two of them. It's a big concertina effect as it's slower in the background. A little bit of contact for the wall for one of the V carbs. I think that was Quiet Boy. Through Mirabeau we go and into the hotel hairpin. Possible race strategies on the bottom of your screen. Cars ghosting all over the shop. Not surprising. It's lap 1 at Monaco. Everyone though seeming to get through cleanly. Yari is just in front of Vinny right now. We've got a tracker on how that battle goes. And Joker is down to 14th and put into the wall courtesy of Jitarachi. And now, last of the running order. Yeah, and there goes my throat. Richie already trying to take a look at Fran Manuli. Very aggressive on the start for him. Everyone's going to be banging the walls around this track. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly the moves start to develop.
Yeah, really good start there from the Haas of Richie. I think ST was... Oh no.
He's not got damage,
Early
he's onto
wing damage,
hards.
Leo.
No, it's not damage, he's onto hards.
Is this the strategy Hyper was talking about just before we came back?
This must be the strategy that they're going to be playing. Because lap 1 to hards, I mean, surely he's running harder allocation if that's the case. A double hard to the end from here. Very nice indeed. But everyone has survived lap 1 and somehow without wing damage.
Yeah, I was just talking about Richie there. So it looked like ST was going to have a good look at Fran on lap 1. But Richie was able to find a way by and he went around the outside. So a brave move made by the Haas car on lap 1. And now he's looking at Fran. But Hyper has pulled away and Fran is now starting to lower that gap once again. So Fran getting into a rhythm after what was a bumpy first start to the race.
Yeah, the start is crucial around here. Hyper had made a big mistake on that start. It's likely he would have dropped places. Yari has cleared Lucas Spurs, who's in the wall. Lucas being wheel dragged by his teammate. Both McLarens in the wall with each other. As XD Tyler picks up a 3-second penalty. Is this a strategy? Is this the strategy? As into the pits, someone I thought I saw go, but no one actually in the pits. But is this the strategy from Mercedes? Because XD Tyler has really caught the back of the field on this lap. is he going to maybe sacrifice his race today and start pulling that real-life strategy we saw? And actually, the gaps here on lap 2 starting to stabilise a bit. I think the top 2, and this is some insider information, Shamrock, are on the same setup.
Yep. Interesting. Very interesting to see who makes the better use of it. Looks like Hyper for the time being, but it's a long way to go in this race.
Yeah, it's more of a strategy race around here than anything. The field not really spreading out too majorly, at least in that top 10 sort of area. But then further back is where the field spread starts to come. Both McLarens ruining their start to the race on what was lap 2. In the wall, a wheel hook from Vinny on Lucas Spurs, really sacrificing everything they needed, as Fran has actually
big moment there.
Was in DRS but got a moment on that exit.
Yeah, he lost the car coming out of that
Yari's round!
section. Oh, Yari, oh no!
The Belgian Waffle strikes again, flicks the car back around and gets going. But disappointment for the Red Bull. The Belgian Waffle, as we know him, Ghilaracci's off at turn 1. Now...
Oh, no way.
No, I don't want to say anything here, Fran, but that kind of looked like he just went straight on. So...
Would that have been intentional?
Maybe to try and cause a safety car, or maybe he misjudged it trying to get XD Tyler, and Yari, the Belgian Waffle, has struck again. He's had another spin in Massenet, and now it's a wheel bang with Tyler. They're going wheel to wheel through turn 4. Who's going to hang on? It's now through the hairpin they go. And Ghilaracci just about takes precedence over the Red Bull driver. But Yari, really not with a nice start to this race, struggling a lot on that medium tyre.
Yeah, and it just kind of sums up Yari's second half of the season, I'm going to call it. He had some pretty strong races this season, but since... I don't know where to really put it, but in the last few races, he hasn't been at the races. No pun intended. He just really hasn't been there up performing well.
Yeah, I mean, we have had a few very difficult tracks. Quiet Bomb's pretty much drifting through turn 1. But it's been tougher tracks for the past couple of rounds, and this one, the toughest of them all, the biggest war of attrition. Archie pulls into the pit lane. Unsurprising if he went off at turn 1, maybe got a bit of damage, maybe just tactical once again from the Ferrari driver. But Blue is actually pulling a bit weird on the exit of that hairpin. So it's actually very interesting, Sham. One of the big things around here is how people are taking the hairpin. And there was a bit of discussion on how that goes over the weekend as Yari's round once again.
I'm surprised he hasn't crashed the car, Leo, to be honest.
You see, I did say this to Yari earlier on this today. He's very good at not crashing the cars. Blue and
Quiet Boy there.
Quiet Boy gets through somehow, and Blue not very happy with that, trying to go straight back at him, but a little bit of dirty air starting to kick in. But I was speaking to Yari before the race. He's very good at spinning. He's terrible at crashing the car. And I think this is just that personified right now. But we continue winding our way through the streets of Monaco. Lap 6 already out in front. Pretty much nothing's changed. Richie up 1. ST down 1. FaZe Monkey's gained, obviously. And he's on that harder tyre, which will start to feel better in the next couple of laps compared to those mediums of all 4 people in front of him. But it's who can get themselves close enough with that dirty air. It's going to really start to make people suffer on their tyres, and who can maybe get a move going. I have bets on one of these guys from P7 through P10 trying to get a move on. Bluefoot with not enough battery, nowhere near close enough to Quiet Boy. And I'm wondering, is Quiet Boy pulling his typical strategy of dropping a little bit of wing for some fun, as I think Yari's just had another little half spin through Massenet once again.
Just staying with Fran here. He's keeping very close. He's keeping tabs on Hyper up in front. He's not letting him pull away. And you know what? He's not making any mistakes either. He's driving a pretty faultless race at the moment, which is good to see from him. And all he needs to do is finish P2 to obviously, and Hyper, he needs to try and overtake him, obviously, to wrap it up tonight, but it's not looking like it's going to happen. It could be going to Austria, but Leo, looking at the constructors, it's definitely going to go to Austria. It's definitely going to go to the final race. We will have something to settle, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think the big thing right now is obviously XD Tyler's had a pit stop already and maybe trying to play a team game here a bit. But you look at Haas still, we've talked about this the last couple of races. The consistency on the Haas team of just being up there when they need to be is just incredible. 3rd and 5th right now for the Haas fellas, and a big gap of kind of clean air for FaZe Monkey at the moment. And I'd question if Haas maybe think about trying the team game at some point in this race. Get FaZe Monkey backing up Quiet Boy and giving Richie a gap to drop back into.
Well, Haas chasing their second Constructors title. Their first was way back in Season 2, so a 9-season drought for the Haas team, and they're chasing a second title. Obviously, there's other teams in contention as well. Tonight, Fran is chasing the Drivers' Championship.
Sorry, but ST
Let's have a go with it.
Took a look on the inside. FaZe Monkey with a terrible run out of Turn 1 as Joker in the pits already as well. So some very early pit stops in this race. But ST just tried to capitalise there on FaZe's mistake. He just had a very big slide in Turn 1, had to catch it. But ST just, it's so tight around here that it's almost impossible to capitalise on a mistake like that.
Yeah, very difficult to get by on this track as well. Obviously, you can have a driver mess up in front of you, but getting past him is a whole other difficult challenge. But you can see ST is really closing the gap to this Haas car in front of him. And since ST's joined Red Bull, he's really made a difference, Leo, at that team, hasn't he?
Yeah, Red Bull obviously on very much no points for most of the season. There was a couple of good results that scored them some points in the league, but since ST's come, they finally started to resurge, get some points in. And now, I think a bigger question though. XD Tyler has finally caught a car as Max is up the inside of MH in Rascas. And he gets the move done. Is MH going to be able to get a good run out of the final corner though? DRS active for both of these drivers. But will the slipstream be enough into Turn 1? MH maybe might feel a bit desperate. But nothing coming of the DRS and slipstream there for MH. And no battery used up the hill, so Max through and clear now into P8. And just needs to settle in now and try and close in on Blue and Quiet Boy ahead of him.
Fran just, again, sticking with Hyper. The gap can averaging between 7 and 8 tenths every lap. So he's happy just to sit in P2 for now and almost wait for Hyper to make a mistake. But I just don't think that is going to happen. With Hyper's in a very good position. He just needs to do what he does. Same way how he controlled Singapore so well last week. If he can do that around this track, he'll take this title to Austria next week, which could set up a very interesting spectacle. But he needs Fran to fall back places. Fran's in a good position as well to extend that gap a little bit further.
I think Fran's also quite happy right now just to finish P2 in this race.
Yeah,
it'll still be a 24-point gap for Hyper to close. It means Fran would have to finish P9. Well, Fran could finish P10, and that would be championship going Hyper's way if he won. P9 for Fran in Austria would mean no more title for him, so I don't think he needs to take that risk on Hyper, who has had a few fighting words said this week, we must say.
Yeah, he definitely has for sure. Hyper trying to, I think in this case, given the gap he has, it's not a full mentality of nothing to lose, but he's going to play aggressive, and if whatever happens, it happens. He knows the gap is a little bit larger than he would prefer. So if Fran does try and go for a move, he's going to definitely try and defend it, but he doesn't have to worry right now as Fran is 1.4 seconds back, so he's definitely able to keep him out in front. And he's kind of hoping, I think Richie can give him a bit of a battle as well, and Richie's gaining time to him too.
Yeah, everyone out in front, I think, kind of just playing a bit of a game right now, just taking it easy with their cars, with their tyres, not taking any risks. The one thing I am surprised about, Sham, is we've not seen anyone pull a Nouvelle chicane yet. No one has hit that inside wall, everyone's first kiss in the F1 games, which is very interesting to see. Bluefoot comes into the box, off those medium tyres, he'll be switching on to what's most likely another set of mediums. for a second stint, as that's a big wobble from Richie, who's starting to struggle a little bit on his tyres, and maybe this bringing ST back into the fight. But you've also got to note Phase Monkey a little bit further back, starting to close in on leaders with that hard compound tyre. So the tyre compound has definitely switched now. Hards are the ones to be on, as Richie just continuing to struggle on this lap, but ST just in that dirty air, not really able to do anything about it.
Yeah, Richie really now showing that the mediums are becoming the slower tyre and they're degrading a bit more, and you can see how that's affecting the leaders. Obviously, Hyper has the clean air, so he's probably in a better condition, but the likes of Fran, Richie, and possibly even ST, depending on how he's managing them, are all in a delicate state, whereas FaZe Monkey is on the better tyre right now,
Richie
so
round.
he's... Oh no!
Richie span it at Raskas as Hyper and Fran and ST all come into the pits at the end of lap 11. No strategy games playing off here, and Richie still stays out despite that spin out of the pits.
I suppose he has to. I think he has to for Haas, really, in the current state of affairs that they're in. He's going to come out P2. So is he going to try and hold up leaders? Oh, Max is in front of the leaders. Leo, I'm scared.
Oh, and there's about to be a bunch of cars joining that middle of the leaders fray. ST just gets out ahead of MH and XD Tyler, but that is a just for ST. So Richie now really does need to try and do something here, because XD Tyler has come out in kind of net fifth as MH is trying to fight his way.
XD Tyler is contacting. Oh, they come right into the wall.
Yeah, it's a wheel lock again, just causing another collision and causing XD Tyler to lose out again in what was the alternate strategy to help his teammate, who doesn't really need help.
Bluefoot might get him now. I'd say Bluefoot's going to get him.
Ran 3 seconds behind, but Max, ever a fast driver, but on very old hard tyres, might be easy pickings for Hyper. What is Hyper going to try and do to get past the Williams driver just ahead of him on a hard tyre? Will be going longer. That's a snap for Max. And actually
Max goes into the pits.
Yeah, in already. But Fran, look at the gains because of that one snap for Max. It was about 1.7 on the exit of the final corner. He's closed back in just a little bit from what he lost. And this is the time now where he needs to put the hammer down, needs to start gaining. Did Quiet Boy pit as well onto hards, or is that the hard he started on?
He pitted onto hard, so Quiet Boy, Joker, Ben have all made big gains. Richie's the one that really makes the biggest losses.
In the pits.
In the pit lane. Oh, I thought we were going to see a safety car there.
I saw a yellow flag in that final corner area. I thought he'd hit the wall at Anthony Nodes, but no, he's given up on this race. He is out for the count at this point. But now, Fran seems to have got those hards up to temperature a bit quicker, or be using just a lot more battery. Hyper's not got much. I saw Fran, I was noticing just before they all came into the pits, Fran dropped back because he fully recharged the battery before that pit stop. So he was on 100% leaving that pit lane. So we'll have to see what he can do with this huge battery advantage. Yellow flag.
What a yellow flag, it's Richie!
Yeah, he's had another little issue there. That's Max getting through after coming into the pits onto a medium. So it's now, I think Max is just splitting the race into thirds at this point, as Fran goes fastest of anyone, 12.5. That feels a bit slow to me. But also, I did drive this track just before, and I have race pace. This is why I was not allowed to race today. Blue and Ben wheel to wheel in turn one. I think Ben got squeezed a bit into the wall, given the manners by Bluefoot. And Ben maybe not very happy now and going to try and have to fight it back. But he's very slow there through Casino and just not able to really capitalise.
Yeah, Blue's got more battery, I think, to offer for that, so he's going to be able to defend a little bit easier. Ben with only 9% in the battery, Blue almost having half of his battery, so I think with the younger tires as well, those younger hards, he's definitely in a bit of more of an advantage, and pace wise as well. So a nice move there from Bluefoot.
Just as I was flicking through cameras to go back to the leaders, Quiet Boy so close to the wall in the Nouvelle chicane, almost thought he had hit the wall. Actually, Tyler gets a 10-second for corner cutting. Did he just outbrake himself and try and park it, or did he go through on a couple of drivers? We'll see shortly. but major wing damage for that Mercedes, who hits the wall again. That's his full wing gone. At this
Tyler's
point,
hit the wall again.
Yeah, and coming through Raskas now. He'll surely be into the pits for a new front wing, and yeah, that's his wing. Getting changed, he retires.
And he retires! So no help from Tyler this race.
Yeah, maybe just not having that second setting lead. But Hyper and Fran have now actually leveled out on battery. Despite that advantage Fran had a little bit earlier on, Hyper's recharged during this stint, but Fran is getting such better exits from these corners. 7/10 the gap. He gained a 10th just on the exit of Portier there. So maybe now the time, as Hyper makes a mistake in the Nouvelle chicane as well, is Hyper starting to feel a little bit of pressure from behind? And is this going to allow Fran maybe just a sniff of a chance to get through on the Mercedes driver? As actually you look as well.
Oh, Hyper went deep!
Oh, he's
went deep into the corner!
The championship!
He's lost position!
The
Oh my god!
is shambles now! Is Hyper going to try in turn 1? No.
Hyper's going to come back at him!
And Hyper gets a penalty!
3 seconds!
Hyper is throwing the race away at the moment. Just trying to give it everything. And nearly hits the wall on the inside of Casino as well.
He's pushing really hard now.
Yeah, he felt the pressure. He's gone a bit deep. And now is the time he needs to pick it up. And now
Fran at a moment too! Oh my god.
And it's only 3/10 between these two, but Fran will get a toe on this exit.
Hyper getting a bit of moments there as well.
And that has changed the course of this championship at this point. Hyper really pushing big rear lockups for Hyper.
Look at ST, look at ST there.
Cut the chicane, almost. I think just having to avoid Hyper with how much of a struggle it was for him through the chicane. And FaZe Monkey now, the bottleneck at the front. Is this Haas team games? Is this going to be the Haas team?
Could be.
Going for big points, because these games may not...
Hyper struggling.
Yes.
Oh, FaZe just ran by!
And FaZe,
he's letting Hyper by, he's not getting involved.
They're wheel to wheel up the hill!
What the hell?
FaZe trying to let them through. It's not easy to do at racing speed without losing time. Hyper's lost a lot of time to Fran at this point, and the lead swapping hands. What can Hyper do at this point to bring this back? Because right now he has absolutely nothing to help him. It's a yellow flag in Sector 1. Vinny has lost his entire front wing. So we may see a safety car this lap, as he's going very deep right now in a couple of these corners, just trying to drive the car on track. Big smashes into the wall. And Vinny not really having the best of times here at Monte Carlo. Not the gambles he's taken really not paying off in this race. But Fran now may start to feel a bit of pressure of his own, and it's not because Hyper is right behind him, it's because the championship now is on the line. If he can keep this position, championship over for him. There's a yellow flag. Vinny's hit the wall in the new chicane. It's a safety car.
Oh my days.
The leaders
oh my days, Leo, this race has just gotten real.
Okay. Who has hards? That's the only time. Do you know what? Where are my numbers? Give me my calculator. Let me figure out who can go. Who can go where?
And that puts McLaren out of the constructors, by the way.
That is disappointing for McLaren at this point. Right. So technically, both mediums and hards can get to the end from this point. Max has boxed onto softs.
Ball call. I respect it.
Maybe has he? No, he's done a stop already. So, I mean, the softs can only do 13 laps according to my numbers. So, I'd be interested to see what goes on. I don't think these numbers are entirely accurate, to be fair. I think it's only really a hard that's going to properly make it to the end with any sort of pace. But a safety car somehow only on lap 17, and somehow someone only getting hit, only causing an incident in the Nouvelle chicane on lap 18. How in God's name has that happened?
It'll be very interesting to see what the leaders do. I don't think Fran and Hyper will box. I don't see it happening.
I think they need to.
Um,
I think they will. And
they're
both in. ST will probably follow. FaZe Monkey has to follow. And Quiet Boy is going to be the first one staying out. Hyper gets past Fran momentarily in the pit lane. And that's it. Fran keeps the lead of the race, at least the net lead, because Quiet
Boy stays out. That's interesting.
He might have 2 mediums and not believe that medium can make it to the end. So that's where the issues may arise.
Bluefoot stays out and lets his T. Wait, Hyper might squeeze past him. Bluefoot got a drive through.
Blue got a drive through.
What's happened?
And did squeeze past Hyper. I think he was going a bit too fast. Got a speeding penalty in the end. And that is shambles for Blue. Is that a drive-through? That is.
I think what's happened there, Leo, is Blue has slowed down. He's let Fran by, and then Hyper's also seen that Blue has slowed down. He tries to go for it, but Blue doesn't want to let Hyper by. So they've come out side by side again, and Blue's picked up speed under the safety car conditions, and now has a VSC, and he's going to blame this on Hyper. Absolutely. I mean, he wouldn't cause it on his own fault, but now Hyper has a car in between him who can't get out of the way. He can't do this. He can't serve this drive-through under the safety car, can he?
No, but maybe he'll pull in right as it goes green. And also, you've got to consider, Fran's not in clean air either. He's not clear in this race. 9-lap-old hards on Quiet Boy. They won't be terrible on that V-carb, but they certainly won't be the best tyre at the moment in the race. You know, Max...
See, I think this is where friendships come to reality. I think Blue and Fran have such a massive friendship. I don't know about Blue and Hyper, but I don't see Blue getting out of the way for Hyper. I could see Blue getting out of the way for Fran, no problem, but I don't think he's going to... I don't know if he's going to hold up the Mercedes or let him by. We'll just have to see on the safety car restart, but this could be a big obstacle to Hyper. Not only has he got the 3 seconds, but yeah, it's not ideal for Hyper to be in this situation right now.
Yeah, one mistake has cost him current net championship contention, and he needs to win this race really to even stay in the championship. So Fran will be happy as anything to be out in front at a track that is so difficult to overtake. I wonder if Hyper's considering pausing his game at this point, and sending us a voice message for the stream's enjoyment to tell us what happened with that mistake, and if he thinks he can sort his life out towards the end of this race. You have to think though, these tyres are going to be dying at the end of the race. So just as Hyper's prone to a bottle, maybe Fran will pull out a bottle as well towards the end. It's very possible. I think we're going to have one more lap under the safety car to allow Jitterarchi and Yari to catch up from what's currently Portier and Mirabeau Bass. So plenty of time left to keep these tyres in better conditions. Plenty of time for Bluefoot to decide, you know what, I'm just going to take a new set of tyres now, be on the back of the pack, so I can at least do, 19 laps to the end in clear air maybe, with that virtual safety car, and not have to worry about a new set of tyres going on. But Max, who's already done a pit stop, has boxed again. Ben has apparently just had a bit of a wobble in that final sector, maybe trying to get some tyre temperature in. It's very hard around here, even in qualifying on a soft, to get a decent chunk of temperature in the tyre. But Quiet Boy now is going to be the cork in the bottle for all of these drivers. The oldest tyres on the grid for Quiet. MH has stayed out on old hards, and Blue has stayed out on old hards. Safety car will be in this lap no matter what at this stage. Yari and Jitter are catching the back of the pack, so we will go green in about the next minute in Monaco, and then we'll have about another 25 minutes of full send racing to the end. The top two in the championship, second and fourth, split by a driver on 10-lap-old hard tyres that aren't going to be feeling their best. But Fran the guy who stands to win the championship, does he have to take the risk against Quiet Boy? Will he take the risk against Quiet Boy? Or will he be happy just to sit back a little bit, but dropping back a bit probably for the tyre temps? As we'll see in a moment, safety car in at the end of this lap. And Sham, what do you think's going to come to the end of this race?
I just think, as you said, the pressure is really on Fran here. You know, he's got Hyper on a penalty. He's got Blue, his friend, behind him. You know, does he take the risk on Quiet Boy? You know, Quiet Boy's looking at the constructors' positions with Racing Bulls right now. You know, look at that big gap between Fran and the Aston there. If Blue, I think, just held up Hyper. Look at the gap. That's huge. What?
But Quiet,
that's got to be
very
tactical.
Good restart. Joker has spun on the exit of the final corner, trying to restart this race, and that is
Hyper's going to get Blue here. Blue's going to squeeze him towards the wall. Oh my God, that was close. But Hyper gets it done. He wastes no time getting past the Aston Martin, and the gap now, he has to try and catch Fran. But Blue, I think, really tried everything for his friend there, and he helped. He helped on the safety car restart, but Hyper got by going up that hill section. My God.
Yeah, Phase Monkey up the inside of ST through the hairpin. Championship contention for Haas. Is ST going to try a resend? Phase Monkey leaves the space. Plenty of respect between those two. Here comes Fran. Can he dive up the inside of the V-carb? And again, taking no risk here. Tries to switch back. No way through. And that's allowing Hyper, slowly but surely, to close back in on the V-carb and the Ferrari out in front. And look at how that gap's tumbled in this middle and final
it's coming down rapidly.
Blue may have played the friendship game with Fran, but all's fair in love and war at this point. It's a war, but who's going to win the title here? Blue pulls into the pits to serve that drive through. DRS is now enabled, and look at how close Hyper is to Fran. He is going to be full send now. Fran needs to be careful. We heard everything Hyper said in the coming weeks for Monaco. He said it before even Singapore, that he would not let Fran go without a fight around this track. Joker retires in the pit lane. Thankfully in the pits, I think, for this lead battle. Try and look up the inside.
Oh my
and look
God.
at the defense from Fran as well. Tucks to the inside, just doesn't give him the chance. But Fran now is going to stay bottled behind Quiet Boy at this stage. Hyper will be giving it everything. But look at the train that's forming behind Quiet Boy at the moment. This shows as Hyper takes a look to the inside in the Nouvelle Chicane. Couldn't do anything. He's going to lose time to every one of these little looks he has. These little non-committal battles he tries to have with Fran. But every single little try he takes on Fran here is key for him to try and win the championship. An alternate line through Rascasse. It's only one line through this final corner. Does he have any sort of grip over Fran? They've got the same age tyres. They've got the same setup, most likely. So it's all going to be down to who is the better driver, who can utilise the setup better, as you say. And Fran is really close to Quiet Boy at this point, Sham.
Yeah, he's looking to get by him, I think, here, but he just can't take the risk. It's too narrow in Sector 1. But Fran, he was looking at it there, and the more he sits behind the more he sits behind Quiet Boy and doesn't go for the move, the more it's going to allow an opportunity for Hyper. And look how close they are through that section. Oh, I can't even speak. I can't even name the corners. They're just getting so close to each other right now.
I think Fran is starting to play some games using Quiet Boy. I think he was intentionally a bit slower in that hairpin. You saw the time he lost to the V-carb car, and then just used the toe through the tunnel as a saving grace. Hyper
Hyper's hit the wall.
He keeps his wing.
Too much.
Yeah, he tapped the inside onto back. He needs to push.
But Fran hit the wall as well.
How much pushing can he afford? Quiet still going. Still the cork in the bottle for this entire field. And Hyper with a big wobble on the exit of the final corner. You hear the tyres screaming on the exit.
They're not happy.
Lap 25 here in Monaco. And anything can still happen. Fran bottled in behind the V-carb. Here comes ST up the inside of Phase Monkey. Taps the inside wall of Massenet.
Oh, there
through
could be a great
Casino
move
they go.
here.
Is it going to be a switchback for ST? Can he dive it to the inside of Mirabeau Mass? He can't. doesn't quite get anything done there, and through the hairpin. No way through. Hyper really trying to press on the back of the Ferrari at this stage in the race.
Big Monkey might get Hyper here as well.
Yeah, Hyper's starting to struggle on this hard. And is Fran close enough now? Is this the first time he's going to maybe think about a look? No. Still sitting in that slipstream on the straights. Max has disconnected from the session. If you can get him back in, Sham. But Fran now,
I can't see him on my end. I don't think I have him added.
that is disappointing. I'm going to quickly try and get Max back in the session. He gets one invite and one invite only because Hyper is still looking
Fran's
everywhere.
hit the back of
the
Hyper,
inside for Hyper! It's wheel to wheel! They make contact!
Oh my god!
Damage! Wing damage for Fran! Is it wing damage for Hyper? ST goes through! Hyper's missing Harker's wing! Hyper's missing that plate! Fran gets a penalty!
Oh!
The race falls away from Fran. What is going to be said by the stewards towards the end of this one, though? There's a yellow flag in the final sector.
I'm going to be sick. I'm going to be sick.
But Hyper
My face is flushing.
Hyper and Fran, both with wing damage now. Both needing to win this race to get their respective titles in shape. And more crucially, Fran 6 points down on Hyper. The minimum that Hyper needs to score as it stands. And there's penalties still to be served in this race, but what can Hyper do? He's also missing a bit of his front wing. Anything can go on. We have 13 laps at the conclusion of this one to go in Monaco. When does Quiet Boy pit? How much pace does Hyper have with the wing damage? These are all the questions that need to be answered towards the end of this Monaco Grand Prix.
Oh my god, Hyper went wide there. He's exposed himself to ST, but that move from Hyper, that was bold, Leo. That was dangerous. It could have gone either way. It could have been over. It could have been race curtains for him. But that is the risk of a champion, a hunger, a move of a champion there. And Fran, he tried to defend it, but he's gonna be absolutely fuming. ST up the inside. Oh my god.
ST trying to fight
He's trying to squeeze
the
him.
wheel to wheel. Into Mirabeau Mass. Can Hyper do anything? He hits the wall with his rear end. Fran now ghosted inside of him.
Through him.
ST
And he might get by. He might get by. He does.
And Fran is through again. And the championship back alive for the Ferrari.
Oh my god, Hyper just made a second crucial mistake there. The wing damage is hurting him so much. And look at this, with Quiet Boy still to pit in this race, it's put ST in a very good position to go on and win this race for Red Bull, which would be an absolute miracle for them given how their season has unfolded, Leo.
Yeah, Hyper is looking left, right and centre right now for any way through the Ferrari. He is trying to give it everything. His tyres are crying out for help. He is wheel spinning out of every corner. But as you said, ST right now in a beautiful position. Can he keep those medium tyres alive? Can he clear Quiet Boy? These two are immense rivals from other leagues. They know how to crash on a street circuit.
Yeah, absolutely.
They did it in Australia.
Formula Aero is something definitely spoken about in the history books, and it's found its way to the URC, which is absolutely great to see. But Quiet Boy going to fight this. He's doing so well to keep the lead on 18 lap old hards, the longest stint that any driver's done on a tyre this race. So ST not able to get by yet, and Fran and Hyper, one of them's got a pit to fix this damage, but there's still such a long way to go in this race.
And the question is, can they even afford to? Even with the safety car now, if everyone pits, they'll still come out behind Jeddah Archie, the both of them. That is how bad having to change your front wing at Monaco is. And there's a cap on the wall for Hyper.
Cut there.
He's really trying to push these limits. Max gets a 10-second for cutting the chicane. Not surprising, really. He's a mile out of the race, and look at Hyper. He is fighting
Hyper's
that car
struggling so much
to get on the power. ST on the back of Quiet Boy, but this dirty air is still hurting ST. And it's going to be hurting the Mercedes and Ferrari fighting for the drivers even more with 11 to go in Monaco. Quiet Boy, remember, still has to pit Is he playing the safety car game here? Surely he must be.
He could possibly be, but he's making those tires work. He's keeping the traffic going, and possibly he's frustrating these guys behind on the fresher compounds. But just looking at Fran and Hyper here, Hyper is definitely the more driver in the worst position because Fran is okay on his tires. The wing damage, yes, affecting him, but he's managing it better than Hyper is. Hyper in 2 sectors of the track has another 3 seconds. And he spins! Oh, he's in the wall!
Backwards, the Hyper bottle comes back once again, and it's in Monaco, of all places. While fighting for the title, he couldn't keep it together when it counted, and surely, without an absolutely immense mistake now from Fran Bernoulli, the title is surely sealed. Hyper, his tyres are gone. He's into the
goes
pits.
for the move and gets it done.
Yeah, and is Fran going to capitalise now?
Here.
Tyres in the pits.
In the pits. Oh my days!
His
That
race
is
is over. Quiet
The
tyres
title
are
is
gone.
done.
Fran Bernoulli now would crash, and his title is sealed. That is how good of a season it's been, though, in URC. It came down to a mistake in the penultimate round for Hyper to end off this season, to cost him his chance at a driver's title. Both Aston Martins, right, are in the points. What a race it's been from then to be 9th and 10th, considering where they started. But Quiet Boy now, I think, still really needing a safety car, needing a mistake from someone to cause this, because his tyres are surely just crying out for all mercy right now as he keeps dropping away. But look at ST in the clean air. He is starting to build a little bit of a gap over Fran here, who's got to be struggling with that wing damage, but will have better tyres. Quiet Boy pulls into the pits along with FaZe Monkey. Late pit stops in this race will drop him to P8 as it stands. P7 and P8 for the two of them. If Yari's quick enough in this final sector, he might not be even. They might have actually done quite well.
Actually up into 5th there. This is looking like a good result for Ferrari in the constructors, and well, a horrible day out for Mercedes. What could have been Hyper's big race. He's it's just hard to see. It's I think he was going in this race with all odds, and Max has lost it.
Chicane. I think he's hit the inside wall on the Nouvelle, and that's his race over. Somehow it looks like he's parked in the middle of the track. Track clears up very quickly. Monaco marshals.
There's a message, Leo. I don't know if you've seen it in Discord, but Hyper says, "Fran, GG's, you wheel locked me and got me damaged. Thanks, Pookie." Oh,
interesting. Joker says
very
the car was
interesting.
just not gripping up in that corner, and Fran has closed in on ST. Look at the gap between the two of them right now. It's 3/10. Even with wing damage, Fran showing the talent that he has. Driving that Ferrari, he is practically pushing ST through the final sector, but he just can't quite get the ultimate traction. Hyper has sent a message. Is it a voice message? It's what we all want to see if he has. It's 2 voice messages. But everyone who enjoys the Hyper voice messages will wait to see if Fran can clear ST first, because Fran very close right now, and Fran taking a look up the inside, not close enough, but practically pushing no matter what. Gitarachi, his connection is foiled. He never has a good connection, but P5 on the road as it stands has been a very good race from the Ferrari driver, someone who hasn't showed that ultimate pace. Is Fran going to be able to do anything through the tunnel and into the Nouvelle chicane? He's not close enough. So let's hear from Hyper295 F1.
Yeah, let's listen to it.
Fran, GG's, nice championship. I think you have to wheel long term and keep it like.
Damn.
Damage over fucking nothing. Like, you could have left it second, but no. Something's con.
That's
Damn,
big words
that
from
is.
Hyper. And coming from Hyper, a guy who's usually very cheerful after any race, no matter what goes on. Gitarachi pulls into the pits. I think that's his AI. Max saying he's a witness to the terrorism. And ST's made a mistake.
Fran! Oh, Jesus
Nearly
Christ.
in the wall. He wants to finish this race in first, as he has done so many times this season. But can he do anything about it? Because right now he seems to be struggling. URC says his game crashed. Well, you're in the pits. So good job, man. But Fran Manuli now, maybe just starting to get a little bit desperate on the back of the Red Bull car, who is surely starting to struggle on tyres right now. Those mediums, same age as Fran's hards. And Fran with wing damage able to keep monumentally close to this guy. Hyper saying that Fran should be disqualified from the championship. That's interesting. ST, a mistake through the swimming pool, but still no way through for the Ferrari driver. And
Fran getting so close.
Yeah, just a point here as well, Sham. Ben has quietly had a very good race here. He's 4.5 seconds off the lead group in P4.
Yeah. Really impressive from him. Can't take this away from him. He does really well to finish in P4, and you know, Sauber do need this result in their battle with Red Bull for 9th. So if Ben can hold out, it'd be good for him. Be a good confidence booster, I think, going into Austria next week, given how it's a difficult track for some people. But just talking about Fran there, obviously he is declared champion now. He's the 4th Ferrari champion. Obviously he's joining that Hall of Fame with the likes of Kajoko in season 2 and 3, and then obviously Brandon Clark back in season 9, Ferrari's 3rd driver's title, and Fran makes it the 4th. But it appears we've almost had a moment there, Leo, from your reaction.
Yeah, just a little bit of a lock-up, and it looked like a big rear one into the Nouvelle chicane, and nearly into the wall that has claimed a couple of people in this race. Surprisingly only a couple with how close the walls are around here. But ST still hanging on in the lead. How long can ST hang on, if not stuck to the very end at this point? Because it would be an incredible scene to see a Red Bull back on top in URC, and if anything, ST the man to do it. But Fran still looking very desperate. ST with a big rear slide there. It almost looked like a 4-wheel slide through Massenet, but Fran's still just not able to get the traction in that dirty air. Max is saying there's no way Andre's tyres make it to the end. They already look like my head. Probably very true. I have a huge old beard right now, which looks a bit like tyre graining, so we'll have to see. But Fran, once again, this time not on the attack, maybe trying to recharge for a little bit of a charge a bit later in the race. Quiet Boy has caught Ben. Does Quiet Boy have the battery, the speed? He's on the brakes. He's late on the brakes. Up the inside. That is a great move from Quiet Boy. Committed and completely clean. Room just about given on the streets of Monaco. How much more can Quiet Boy do with the freshest tyres on this field? Also, Sham.
Yeah, that
Gary's
was
an 8th.
Yeah, go ahead.
Gary's an 8th. And survived. He's not even a lap down.
He's on old tyres as well, very much worn tyres. He's doing very well. This would be good for Yari to come home with a P8, but he's got MH behind him, looking really pacey. And yeah, MH might go for a move here. Yeah, he's going to go for a move here, Leo. And Argy Bargy. And Yari gets shoved in, down to P9 there. And his tyres are going to fall even more. And Hyper has opened a ticket to report Fran. Fran with a moment there, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, those tyres. He is pushing to the absolute extremes right now to try and do anything about the Red Bull controlling this race. Yellow flag in Sector 1, blue is out. I think it's a bit late. I think he's hit the inside wall. There is a VSC. It's a VSC. Not a full safety car. I mean, Yari, if you want to, you could stop on track, and I think that would upgrade it. If anything. Just as an FYI, if you want to make the end of this race even more interesting. And I mean, he was very slow in the hairpin. I almost did think. But Blue, making one of the few mistakes you can make around here to lose your tyre just instantly. Got the Nouvelle chicane. You've got potentially the final corner. It can be a bit of a killer. and then out of Casino. Very easy to lose out. ST actually has got a bit of a gap under this VSC right now. As Ben pulls into the pits, his tyres are done. It's a cheap pit stop and he can come home P6 happily. Quiet Boy will be the happiest one here though. Gets to cool down his tyres, get a bit more battery in the bank, and then once it goes green, he can absolutely send it to the end and try and do something about the trio in front of him who are on much worse tyres, but he seems to have closed in quite significantly with this VSC. And just waiting to see when it's going to start ending. And Yari speeds under the VSC.
Yari.
It's a drive-through for Yari, unfortunately. And ST hasn't got away brilliantly from the VSC.
No, he hasn't. But Fran is struggling on his tires.
Big tank slapper through Portier. Can he do anything? No. Again, just nothing able to be done. The wall's too close and the tyre advantage somehow not enough. At this point, as Quiet continues to close in, he needs to realistically get close enough by the midpoint of next lap if he wants to stand a chance of doing anything.
Oh, Fran's going to send it on ST! And I think he hit his wing there.
Yeah, it's heavy understeer on the front end of Fran's car. He's really getting desperate at this point. I've got more messages from Hyper. This is clearly an unhappy Hyper. He sent me the clip of pure attempted terrorism. Fran on pretty much no battery. ST with a massive slide.
Go for a moment.
Up the inside. Can he get the switch back? He's trying to. ST defends it quite nicely.
The
Fran dives to the inside.
Driver
There's
to the
contact.
inside. Oh, he's makes huge contact.
Capitalise on the ghosting. He's in. Richie, sorry,
Richie and Quiet Boy. Oh my God, what is happening?
Quiet Boy now in the greatest position of all. He may have a penalty, but it's the midpoint of this lap. I said he needed to be close enough. I said he needed to try and do something on this lap to stand a chance. He needs to beat Fran in this race to get a podium. That is the only way, I think, at this point, without one of the two guys ahead of him's tyres
Fran's going to look at the inside again, but ST defends that really well in the Red Bull.
ST's tyres are really gone at the moment, and look at Fran. He's going to take a look again maybe, but ST, wise to it, just drives the straightest line he could into Rascasse as we start what is the final lap in Monaco, and Fran does have the run with DRS but not the battery. All of these guys immensely low on battery. They have been fighting it out.
Fran's going for it again.
Here goes Fran Bernoulli. Can he find any way through? He's a little bit wider. ST with a bit of a wobble again. But Fran just too close. Not able to capitalize. Big snap for Fran. And is this going to open the door for anyone? Quiet Boy can't quite find a way through. On Richie, who's in P3 right now. Fran looks to the inside of the hairpin. Can't do anything. Through the hairpin he goes now, and there's one more chance around this circuit. One more opportunity for a move, but he is fading and fading fast. ST has pulled 7/10 there. And can Richie spoil Fran's parade on track? There's one more overtaking opportunity, and it's here. No move is made, but then Space Monkey trying something for the team's championship out of nowhere. Joins the back of the fray, and Fran may be down to P4 with these penalties. But after 20 odd laps on these mediums, we'll take a quick peek. 20 laps on that medium, it'll be 21 at the end. ST has driven fantastically, he's defended brilliantly, and he's kept it clean. He's going to come home to win in Monaco. Fran in P2 will drop P3. It's a double Haas podium after penalties. P4 for Fran Bernoulli. 5th comes home Quiet Boy in the V Club. 6th for Ben. What a race it has been for him in the Kick Sauber. MH 27's back. 20 seconds back. Is going to come home in P7. It's been a solid race for him in the Aston Martin. What a drive for him. Gideraci's disconnected car is coming home 8th. And Yari, maybe just trying to have his own bit of fun here. I'm going to keep an eye on the lap data. No, he's way too far back on this lap. Is he just boxed for softs on the final lap? Because I think he might have... Straight lines to chicane, not surprising, wants to get off this track.
Oh my God.
At this point, Gideraci is going to come home P8 in the Ferrari. He might have disconnected a few laps from the end. but ends up P8 in the field. And it'll be P9 for Yari Spams L2 in the Red Bull. Surprised that he has survived, but the permutations are incredible.
Yari's hit the wall.
Yari in the wall on the main straight, causing some absolute carnage for us over the line. Thank you, Yari, for extending this. But what a race it's been. What a championship it has been for Fran Bernoulli. And we will be joining you all shortly for interviews with pretty much everyone at this point.
I don't know if I'm correct, Leo, but if we're looking at Haas, P2 and P3, is that the championship done, the constructors?
I will run some quick maths very shortly, Shamrock. We will be back for interviews once we get everyone in.
Perfect. Folks, we are back in after a hectic Monaco Grand Prix. And my God, me and Leo thought this race would be boring going into it tonight, folks. But boy, was it fucking entertaining. We have our Season 11 Drivers' World Champion, the fourth Ferrari champion to join this victorious team. It's Fran Bernoulli. Fran, congratulations. You are the Season 11 Drivers' Champion. How are you feeling in this current state of affairs?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to win it cleaner for sure, but I feel grand. I feel good.
That's good, man. That's good. But how were your initial feelings crossing the line? Was it relief? Was it celebrations?
It was just calm, you know.
Yeah.
I tried. I really pushing for that podium. I tried everything to do to overtake ST, and he defended really well. But nonetheless, P4 gets me the championship. I wish it was. I wish Hyper. We battled it out a bit better because we really got screwed over by Quiet Boy, and in our incident. Me and Hyper, I got pushed into the wall by Hyper, and I legit nearly spun, and it looks really bad from my point of view, but if I go left, I crash out with Phase Monkey.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wish it was a bit cleaner.
Yeah, I think it was always going to be a bit of tension, though, going into this race. You know, Hyper has been saying it for weeks. This was going to be a bit of hard battling, and you said it as well back in Zandvoort that you're fighting for a championship. You're not going to race easy on each other. You're going to try and race each other hard, and obviously within the limits. So I think it was going to happen at this race that there was going to be one moment, and that could define and change the race. So we've definitely seen that, but obviously. Fran, it's deserved, this championship, to be honest. You've been the top driver all season. You've been the driver to beat. You've been getting the wins, the podiums, the pole positions. You've really looked like the front driver. So, you know, there's nothing we can take away from you this season. But season 12 is just around the corner. It's not too far away. Have you given it much thought?
Depends on the grid, because if it's me and Hyper again, we're going band for band again. So.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully we'll get a Fran versus Hyper 2.0. But yeah, any other comments, Leo, if you want to come in there?
Oh, don't even know where to start, Fran. Obviously, it looked like a bit of a bottling qualifying for me, but
I got impeded on my last two runs, so that's why I didn't set any lap. I got impeded twice in the same section of the track. So I was pretty pissed off about that. I couldn't even set a good lap. I just only set the first two, which I set them really early on, so they were bankers pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you have wrapped up the championship now. It was a great, consistent race from you. Looking ahead to Austria, though, obviously, Ferrari are now mathematically out of the constructors' fight. It's only now Haas and Williams that can fight it out in the final round. But are you going to still be giving it your all and trying to go out with a bang in the final round?
Is it possible for second, or how is the constructors looking like? Because Jenner Archie got some points as well today.
I believe you can still go second. It's just
we'll be fighting. We'll be fighting for second for sure in Austria, and I'll be fighting for the win, of course, with my good friend Hyper. So.
Of course, it'll be a very interesting race to see, Fran. What a job from you this season, and hopefully next season we'll see you again. Back up in front.
Yeah, you will.
Thanks for coming along, Fran. Back to today's race, though, and just the short-term stuff. We're going to bring up ST2406, your race winner today in the Red Bull. ST, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm really surprised. I didn't expect to win this race, but I'm really happy.
Yeah, it was a mega stint at the end, 21 laps on a medium tyre. How dead were they for you towards the end of that stint? Because you looked to be really struggling, especially through turn 3.
Yeah, the percent wasn't actually that bad. It was like 70%, but they felt like they were about to explode.
Yeah, I mean, your first win in URC in what I think is only your second or third race on the grid, and it was a mega defensive job against Fran. How in all hell did you manage to defend against Fran for the last 20 laps?
Yeah, well, I knew he wasn't gonna try it into turn one, so I tried to save as much battery as I could up the hill into turn three, so it worked out every time, and yeah.
Yeah, we got Austria next week, a race that you've done, I think, a couple times in leagues at this point. Are you going to be trying to do it again right at the end of the season, give Red Bull a little bit more good news than what has been a pretty crap season for them?
I understand the first part.
Are you going to try and win in Austria?
No, I'm good at Austria, to be honest. It's, yeah, just trying to keep alive that podium streak, maybe.
All right, well, thank you, ST, for coming along. What a race from you today. And everyone, that is the end of today's race, the end of today's stream. In a week's time, we'll be returning for the Austrian Grand Prix, the finale of URC Season 11, and getting ready then to move on to Season 12. The Drivers is wrapped up, and it won't take much, but Haas very much in the driver's seat for the Constructors. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And good night.
Have a good one. Goodbye.